Our next presentation is Changing Member Culture Through Health and Wellness. Giving the presentation is Chef Michael Ponzio from Medinah Country Club, located in the suburb of Chicago. I would be remiss if not mentioning the rich history of golf at Medinah, having hosted 3 U.S. Opens, 2 PGA Championships, and Ryder Cup during its 105-year history. Many of us have realized over the last few years that if we don't react to the members' needs as far as food allergies, dietary restrictions, and lifestyle changes as they pertain to food, that we will be left behind. Chef Ponzio and his team at Medinah are at the forefront of these changes, having made a commitment to serving healthy food, eliminating hormone-free and antibiotic-free meats. Organic, garden-fresh vegetables are grown on site. A commitment to serve healthy options for kids. The culinary team at Medinah, led by Chef Ponzio, realizes an initiative must take place beyond icons on a menu to bring healthy, sustainable food products to their membership. Here to speak to us today about how Medinah truly walks the walk and takes health and wellness seriously, Chef Michael Ponzio.
Hello. When I was told I'd be presenting at a conference, I was very excited. The aggressive kind of, arrogant-less chef I am, like all of us, was like, all right, this is great. I'm going to stand up there and tell everyone how great we are. And then I stopped and I thought, and I said, I'm going to literally be standing in front of hundreds of chefs with significantly more experience and accomplishments than me. So it is humbling and an honor to be up here. And I am very grateful for the opportunity. And I want to share with you the program that we did at our club that really, really worked. And it made a difference. And it took years and it took time. But through it, we've seen a completely different change in the membership and their behaviors and their interaction with the culinary team. So health and wellness, terrible topic. Nobody wants to deal with it. The problem with it is everyone defines it differently. So me, I'm a type 1 diabetic. I am on the BMI scale, I'm obese. I'm an ex-smoker. My idea of health is way different than someone who's 5'8" and 160 pounds. I look at it completely different. Wellness, I have 3 kids at home. Spending time with them, my wife, to me that's wellness. Other people it's not. Other people it's spending time at the gym or doing yoga or smoking weed. I don't know what people do for their own wellness. But the problem is all the different definitions of it. So if you look at this, everything that defines health is different per person. Whether it's I need to sleep more, I need to relieve stress, I got to exercise more, I have to diet more. You can't take a program and build it specific to the needs of one type of person. And that's the biggest struggle we had, and we continue to have it. So with our members, we know that they want us to do it. They don't know how they want it done, and they don't know what they want. So they go, I want to be healthy. Okay, well, what do you want to do? I don't know, you tell me. Well, we need more wellness. Okay, well, what can we do for wellness? I don't know, tell me. All right, well, I guess we'll figure this out. So I started talking to the members, and I had a lot of sit-downs, one-on-ones, things like that, sit with them over a cup of coffee and just say, hey, what's important to you? What is wellness to you? What's going to make you feel better, make you more productive, make you a happier member, make you a happier person? And I learned things. I learned that they were more interested in the idea of being healthy than actually being healthy. Surprise. They didn't want to give up their favorite foods. Shocking. Perception seemed more important than reality. They didn't want to feel weird when ordering. And buzzwords were very important to them. Anything that said organic, fresh, the word quinoa and everything. It was, any buzzword was like, oh, that's healthy. I could smother it in caramel sauce, but they think it's healthy. So diet trends were big things, and diet trends are killing us. And I think you guys probably see a lot of it as well. Whole30, keto, paleo. Today I'm vegan, tomorrow I'm vegetarian, the next day I'm a flexitarian. Low FODMAP. There's all these different things, and every member's needs are different. So about 2 years ago, one of the worst things could have happened to a chef So one of the members came in and said, hey, I just had my blood mapped. Sweet. Turns out I'm allergic to corn when it's fed to pigs, and I'm allergic to yellow squash but not zucchini, and I'm allergic to this and that. And I go, okay, sweet. So had to start catering to that one person. Well then, in true club member form, this one told another one, they got their blood mapped, another one got their blood mapped, and next thing I know, I have lists of 30 different demands of people, and the same people that are, not supposed to be having dairy are eating gelato off the cart later too. So it's very counterproductive. So we do a lot of work to try and please them, and it's not easy. Our biggest thing we go up against is the change in times. So portion sizes. And I use fast food for a lot of these kind of facts because the fast food market is what drives our industry in terms of people's trends, especially after 2007. That's when the fast food industry really boomed, and clubs and restaurants died down for a little, and now they're picking back up. When you look at it, 1960, the portion size of a burger was 1.6 ounces of meat. Can you imagine if you gave a 1.6 ounce patty at your club? Today it's 8 ounces. But the Big Mac, the icon of gluttony back at that time, was only 3.4 ounces of meat. That's crazy. Now you have a double stacked burger with a pound of meat, or you go to Fuddruckers and you get that giant thing. It's night and day. So between the portion sizes and the false advertising, members or diners in general are being told, hey, get a salad, it's healthier. It's 4 times the price, it must be healthier. And all of a sudden you realize that 2 McDonald's McDoubles are healthier than a Wendy's pecan apple chicken salad, which is crazy. The only difference is the McDoubles have, 6 more carbs, or 2 more carbs? No, 6 more carbs. And also have a bunch of extra nutrients. So I could eat 2 burgers and actually be healthier than eating this salad. So we're up against a lot of misconceptions. And every single generation has different expectations. So whether millennials have one feeling about what healthy is, Gen Xers, baby boomers, they all perceive it differently and look at it different. And these swings make it very difficult because I could say this is organic, and 2 out of the 3 categories are happy with it, but the third one's complaining because that's not what they're looking for out of healthy. So it's a lot of juggling and a lot of things like that. So we had to look at it and say, okay, how could we possibly make this happen? How can we take these 500 different types of needs and demands and appeal to all them? And we kind of decided that we couldn't. So we built a plan that we could do, that would work for us and that would offer them the options in a responsible way to make it special for them while still maintaining the quality that we wanted to do. Menu evaluations, culinary programming, product sourcing, team education, branding, and then most importantly, member education. So we went through the menu evaluations. Now, every single person here, I'm sure, had at one point a healthy options part on their menu. I went back to the ones from 2010, 2008. There were little sections that said healthy, light choices. Pulled the sales mixes. Very, very surprising. There were almost none sold. So they wanted them to be there, but they didn't want to actually do it. So made it a little more difficult. So what we did was we started at the first area where we had the most diverse crowd and probably the best foot traffic through it was the pool. At the pool, we introduced healthy bowls, like a buffalo chicken quinoa bowl, blended drinks, and the blended drinks are pretty awesome. We took a page out of Protein Bar where we're doing avocado banana smoothies. We're doing things where you add protein powder and this and that. They're smoothies, but smoothies sound sweet. Blended drinks sound healthy, so we labeled them and brand them as blended drinks. And food sales at the pool increased by 20%. And not because we were charging more for the healthy stuff, because those bowls were pretty much grain. So it was pretty cheap. We kept the cost down. We sold over 2,500 blended drinks in the pool season. It's a lot. Healthy bowls outsold chicken fingers and jumbo pretzels combined. And now if you think about it, we have the families, the moms are there, the kids are there, the dads are there occasionally. So you have a lot of different dynamics of people that we're able to really test the waters on. And the member complaints began to reduce, but there was still a buzz. Big surprise. So we went and built our culinary program timeline. Some of the initiatives we had started already, like the maple syrup program, that was kind of the forerunner of it, that Once we started tapping the trees at maple syrup, I think the members, or at Medinah, to make maple syrup, I think the members knew I was a little insane. And they started to get a little curious. So 2015, we switched to an all-natural meat program. We buy our steaks from Meyer Ranch, antibiotic and hormone-free, humanely killed, all prime. And I'll tell you, they eat better than any steak I've ever cooked. And the fact that there are these extra things is just a bonus. So for me, it's awesome. I was very excited to be able to do that because we're giving them something great and we're able to kind of fit into that healthier mentality. Fresh seafood, we started flying fish in from Hawaii, doing things like that. We got rid of all the frozen fish, and then started working on internally what we could do. So in 2016, we built a garden and a chicken coop. And it wasn't enough to do the chicken coop because we were getting criticized constantly by the members, not in a bad way, but getting teased and made fun of about, oh, you got chickens now. Oh, you have, all your vegetables. So I got it USDA-certified. So there was nothing they could say then. It was actually a real thing. They were able to talk about it. We were able to talk about it. And it became from just, oh, chefs playing around with some hens to this is an actual program. We started a fresh bread baking program. We added more healthy winters to the pool. 2017, we branded the garden. We partnered with a ton of farmers because we outgrew the garden very quick. It's 1,200 square feet. We grow about 40 different things there, and nowhere near enough to do what we need. Started working with a local vendor for charcuterie. We started making our own vinegars. Our meat smoking program took off. And then in 2018, we really stepped onto the ledge and rebranded one of our restaurants to be a local restaurant, where in terms of probably 90% of the items are local on the menu. So we partnered with a lot of farms. We started using Gotham Greens, an urban rooftop garden in Chicago, all hydroponic. We rotate our menus every other week based on what's growing in the garden and what the farmers have. The team handles so much of that, and we'll get into that in a little bit. And we expanded all of our other programs as well. And then this year coming up, we're kind of playing catch up. So we're introducing our honeybee program, but we're going to do a HACCP plan too now so we can actually, as it's growing, do it intelligently. So we started with product sourcing, and we started going around and bringing all these different things in, and even if it was something as simple as a purple bell pepper, the members had never seen it. So when they see it on a plate or on a menu, they're like, oh, it's different. Oh, it's fresh. And then the fact that it's from a farm is even better. And they get into it more and more. We found a farm in Illinois that raises cows, lambs, sheep, pigs, chickens, and they actually raise all of our meat except for the steaks, because we still use the original ones from Meyer. They raise the rest of our meat on our menu. And all natural, organic, and about an hour and a half away. So we went there. Checked it out, absolutely fantastic. So my team and I went, and we started going to the farms. We went to the butchers. We went to Slagle, which is our meat company. And at Slagle, we got to actually witness the slaughters of the pigs and go through the whole process. And it brought the team to a different level for their respect and their backing and their belief in this program. And by doing that, it was just night and day in how they thought about the product and how they looked at it and how they treated it. So we saw nothing but great advantage of that. And now we're getting ready. I have the product, I have the plan, I have the team on board. So we're going to keep moving with the program. So we had to look about branding. Branding's a big thing because at Medinah, that means golf. And there is no way in hell I could possibly make that mean anything but golf. They've hosted every big tournament. They've, anywhere you go, if I'm wearing a Medinah sweater, it's, oh, great golf course, great golf course. Well, thanks, we serve food too. We needed to find a way to separate our culinary program from golf. And this was a really big thing. And this is what really drove the wellness program forward in terms of separation of brand, separation of spaces. And it started all with the maple syrup program. So something as silly as a $50 investment that I made on Amazon turned into, we tapped 100 trees this year. We'll probably end up with 90 gallons of maple syrup. And if all goes well, we're going to be bottling and selling it out of the pro shop this year. Awesome brand, awesome thing. People could take it home, and it just expands everything about us. Meacham's Garden. This is the Meacham's Garden logo. We had this actually professionally created because we wanted to make such a strong statement with it. The term Meacham's we use all throughout the club. Whether you're downstairs in the 19th hole or you're upstairs in Fireside, if you have something from the garden, we call it Meacham's. So if you have Meacham's carrots or Meacham's tomatoes or anything like that, it's that little bit of brand recognition that hits, and they know it's fresh, they know it's organic, they know it's from us, and they're excited about it. The hens, the eggs go on the breakfast buffet every single day. The cooks are out there making, that's what they use for the over easies and sunny side up. We have 40 hens, we get 40 eggs a day basically. So we sometimes, like tournaments and things, I supplement with some from the farmers. But for the most part, that's the color of the eggs that come out from our different varietals. The chocolate brown, baby blue, the green. It's incredible, just the story it tells. And they talk about it over and over and over. Every Father's Day, we give away a little 4-pack, which is up on the top left. So Chef Michael's barbecue sauce, Medinah steak seasoning, and then we paired up with Half Acre Brewery to do a custom Camel Trail Ale, which Camel Trail is one of the big golf things at the club. So every dad goes home with a 4-pack, 2 beers, seasoning, and barbecue sauce. We're getting that brand in their house. Every Christmas, we give them hot jardiniere that we make from the garden. The food truck has its own brand. So we're just getting these food labels in front of them and getting them to rethink about it as we are actually a food place and not just a part of Medinah and an amenity to golf. Because, yeah, financially we are, but none of us are just amenity workers. You know, we want to be something great and do something great, and that's what we kept driving for. So these are a majority of the logos we have at Medinah, and they were all made in-house with the exception of Meacham's and the Medinah one, obviously. But the food truck, the Casbah is our craft cocktail bar, the Mecca is our pool kitchen, Fireside is our local restaurant, the Oasis is our 19th hole, and then Meacham's is our garden. And simple, easy, our communications department made them, you know, and I think they did a great job. But these little labels and brands give us separation of space where we can set different expectations with the members. So if you're down in the Oasis and you want something from Fireside, I actually have a reason to say I can't do it now because they're not coming just from a Medinah kitchen. They're coming from separate areas. So their perceptions changed. Huge, huge advantage when we started trying to work on changing the culture. The other thing is, and it's ridiculous, but branding myself. For my first 3 years, I did not let a single member, I did not accept a single one on Facebook. I said, I'm going to keep them out of my personal life, just keep this professional. I don't want to offend anyone or do anything stupid. So then as we started getting into this, and I got to know the members more and really started to build relationships, I saw a huge value in the connections here. And so I branded myself, and we're going to get into it later, but every single market, I kind of do something different, every single aspect of social media, but it's all the same story. It's family, wellness, health, food. That's it. I do not claim to be a fitness expert. I am far from it. But I do talk about health and natural and pure a lot. So that turned into the member education part of it. So I had all these things now. I have the programming, I have the team educated, the branding, the product. So now we got to teach these people. And the biggest thing we're constantly up against is that everyone is an expert more than us. Every single one of these, people that come into our dining room saw something on TV or read something on Facebook or anything like that immediately makes them the expert, or wherever they read it as an expert, even though they don't know who even published it. So we had to teach them our approach and insert ourselves into their lives as experts on the matter. And that was really hard, really hard. And that's where all the branding of myself came in a lot. So we do the newsletters, obviously, right? A handsome picture of me, and then I talk to them about, hey, this month, squash is happening, or this is what's going on in the local markets. And, we were just at Slagle, and they have a beautiful cow that they just put to dry age for us, and all these little stories, and continue to tell this 1 year-long story of our program. And it keeps them in the loop, and whether I'm doing it here or on social media, it's constant little information and connecting. But on every demographic, I speak to the members differently. So My Instagram, Facebook applies to the juniors up to about 45 years old. 45 to 60, 65 is Facebook for me. And that's where I get a lot of responses and different responses. And then getting into LinkedIn, that's where I get the professionals, the older gentlemen, and things like that. Now, have you ever looked at the demographics of your survey scores? It gets crankier as the age increases. So you got to speak to each person differently. We had a breakdown done not too long ago, and it was impressive how as the membership got older, their expectations changed and the scores dropped. So I said, okay, I got to talk to each of them differently. I got to figure out, because the 65-year-old person might not think it's as cool as the 22-year-old person when I'm, showing the pictures of the new smoker being built or anything like that. So Facebook, very big with the members. Like I said, Facebook I get a ton of interaction on. I use this mostly for white plate ups, things like that, because I'm speaking to a little bit more traditional of a crowd. So I do a dessert with gold leaf for a wine dinner. I put it up there. A lot of interaction, a lot of comments. This one I think had, 22 comments, 143 likes. Okay, not a ton, it's not thousands, but that's a lot of interaction, because the next day, people are talking to me about it, saying, oh, do you have any of that dessert left? No, sorry, you should have come to the wine dinner. Should have spent the money, not getting it to you for $7. Now, Instagram, much trendier the way I speak to people. And this has more than just the 3 comments, they're just minimalized. But more of our rustic plate ups, our farm and seasonal stuff, much more colorful things, much more energy. And if you guys were to go on my Instagram, you'll see it's basically one long story of throughout the entire year. When the smoker's being built, and I use this example because it's one of the more recent ones, I showed it from the guy in Missouri sent me a picture of the steel, and then as he was painting it, and then as it got there, and then of us actually smoking meat. And they got to follow along. And when I post on Instagram, I actually get diners at night. And they're talking about what they saw on Instagram during the day. Or if I'm at the farmer's market with my kids, I'll throw it up there. Just a thing of peaches and say, hey guys, they're in season, let's do this. And it's just amazing, an amazing tool for that. So we're educating the members, we keep working on it, and we need to figure out, okay, so what is healthy and wellness for us as it comes to food? So we came up with our Real Food movement. So the Real Food movement is about giving the members the opportunity to enjoy their favorite foods in a manner respective of health and wellness. Okay, so I had to find a way for them to be able to eat that burger, eat those chicken wings, and still know that it's healthier than they would be getting before. So we have this. Is it healthy? You're damn right it is. Local, all-natural meats, house-made sauces, all the condiments are grown on property, the bread's baked in-house, the meat's smoked on property. So baked, basically, because it's smoked, all-natural meat, whole barbecue platter. You can go somewhere else and get it, but here you're going to get no hormones, no antibiotics, everything's organic on the plate. Pretty awesome. Different approach, healthy, but still fits their vices. Our Medinah burger, which is our biggest seller, custom burger blend, all natural meats, house-made bacon from local hogs, Gotham greens lettuce. It's a greasy burger. I mean, the bun's basted in butter and all that kind of stuff, but we took the approach and the responsibility we could to make it better for them. And in doing this, they feel a little bit better about eating it. Now, this doesn't mean that we don't have the, I'm gluten-free this, I'm vegan that, and we take care of it. But so many of our complaints and our modifications have died down since we started doing this because the people are feeling better about the way they're eating. Our toast, what used to be bruschetta, now it's toast it's called. House-made apple butter from Michigan apples from one of our farms. House-made ciabatta, Brussels sprouts from one of our farms in Illinois. The guanciale from local hogs, our maple syrup. Pretty natural. Very trendy, but our thing's not about chasing trends. We, with our menu and our development and all that, it comes from my team. It started with me, and then it grew into us. And that's where it's growing into with the members as well. So we do roundtable talks. We constantly throw ideas around. And our main theme is, don't follow trends. Just tell me about something great you ate, and let's figure it out. And we build from those kind of things. So while everyone's out doing, mushroom toast and all that because Royster in Chicago is doing it or someone posted about it on Facebook, we're not. We're just making some kick-ass food if we could with local products when they're in season and just having fun. Our squash blossoms, they were growing in our garden. I picked them the first day. I posted this picture on Instagram. We served it that night, and the entire garden was picked clean. That same day, I had to call 2 of the farmers and get cases and cases over the next day because we literally just sold out. And it was a lot. It was something like 36 orders the first night. So again, grown on property, Gotham arugula, peppers pickled in-house, grown on property, etc. They love it. And it's unhealthy, but it's a healthy version of unhealthy. Our goat cheesecake uses a phenomenal goat cheese. The blueberries come from Michigan. The eggs come from our hens. So, see, our whole approach is not to give, a poached fish over ancient grains, with some sort of a marmalade. It's about real food, and we say real food, and the way we do our plate-ups, which, Chicago is very big portions. Chicago is very, very dynamic in the way they eat, especially at our club. These people put down one of these burgers a day, sometimes 2 a day. I have a bacon board that has literally 2 pounds of bacon on it, comes out on a giant pig platter. And there's people at the club that eat them by themselves. Different types of bacons, house-made, chicharrones. It's awesome. It's a gimmick, but they love it. Healthy. So we started to see results. Member survey scores increased significantly. Our culinary program became a talking point, not just at our members, but outside of the club as well. We started to receive press, recognition, TV things, all these just wonderful things that we weren't looking for, but apparently it was working. The club brought in a personal record-shattering amount of members. So, interesting fact, after the Ryder Cup, when we all thought that membership was going to grow, it did just the opposite. And golf wasn't bringing in members, so we had to focus on a new culture and a new way to bring them in. And every single member tour, potential member tour and interview, the families are there, and we're having conversations. And I've noticed so many times the family's not engaged. The gentleman might be like, yes, I'm going to golf, let's do this. And the wife may be on the fence. And the minute we start talking about the dining program, they completely change their whole tone. And it's incredible because I didn't realize how far it would actually go. The membership then, after all this, decided to start investing financially in the culinary program. So it wasn't about, we had $200,000 to do this. Our kitchen is old. Our equipment is old. We just pushed and kept working and working harder. And my team freezes out in the winter when they're out there getting the sap. And it's just, it's brutal, but it's awesome. Food and beverage sales rose by $1.4 million. Huge growth. Huge. It was over 30% growth. And culturally, I think that's a pretty big win. The members began to feel good about the food. We constantly go back and forth. They're always talking about it now. They're not complaining, they're talking. They're coming in. What are you guys making today? What do you have? If my guys are out on stations working, they're talking and conversing with them, asking questions. Quality is now an assumption, not an expectation. So the words prime are not on our menus. The words organic are not on our menus. We've built the culture now through this program and through the branding and the marketing with the members that they come in and they assume it's just going to be prime. They assume it's going to be great. And it's one of the best feelings because they trust us. The members share our story. So when a member would give a tour, I sat there and I would start it and I would watch the members give tours around. It's, oh yeah, Tiger Woods did this over there. And oh yeah, this guy played this golf course and golf this and golf that. We serve food here too. Now it's so much different. When they're downstairs, they talk about the golf. The minute they take them upstairs, the entire conversation is the dining program. Oh, they're nuts here. They got chickens. Oh, you get the eggs for breakfast. Oh, maple syrup. Try it. It's fantastic. And they're so proud of it that they back it up, big time. We began to see a marriage between the culinary team and the membership. And we've never seen anything like that before. I mean, you have your members have their favorite omelet guy, right? They come up and this guy's making them omelets. He knows how he likes them every single time. But when they want to be in the kitchen. They want to be part of the events. We do a maple syrup program now, or a maple syrup festival now. All the families come out. I have to cap it at 65 people because it's just too many, but they bring their kids. We tap the trees. We did it last week. We went out and drilled trees. We walked across the fairway. They braved the cold. We drill the trees, collect sap. We boil sap down inside. They get to taste the final product, taste the tree sap. It's educational. And then we sit down to a maple syrup brunch, family style, where everything uses our maple. Every single dish uses the previous year's harvest. The kids are involved in so much of it, and it's so great because then the parents are happy about it. But the team is involved too. So whether they're working in the food truck or they're cotton candy, frying donuts out there, or anything with that, it's all about the food and the culture, and it's really morphed. So as we continue to grow the program, I'm going to show you two of the dishes we do. Simple, they're great. One is a huge winner with us, and it's really, you're going to be like, what? But it's pretty cool. So our goal was to change their culture with dining, and it was through the health and wellness because we're not standing up there saying, hey, we're the best chefs in the world. I'm not. I'm probably not even the best chef in this room or for the club or anything, but for the personality and for what the members want and what they need, we wanted to show them on an emotional level that we cared, and that was huge. You know, we are doing this for you. We are buying these products for you, and you are important to us. And what I'm seeing on my end, because I don't golf, I don't know what it is, I don't know anything about it, it just doesn't interest me. Sorry, Marshall. But I love seeing this, it's turning into this. And there are so many members that are proud of this, and they're all about the food program. And it's just the greatest feeling in the world. So I'm going to show you a few of the dishes. If you guys have any questions, I'm going to do this right back here.
We have a lot of questions, Chef.
Oh, no.
Are you using all of these programs for banquets as well as a la carte?
Some of them. So for the weddings, yes. The weddings get the same steaks, same meats, everything. But the weddings do get more commodity vegetables just because of the volume. And my farmers, and no one can really keep up with it.
Do you have any challenges with members owning companies and expecting you to use their product?
We've gotten past that. We actually put in the bylaws that we shouldn't do it. So there's a few that we had used before that are grandfathered in, but we've gotten away from that quite a bit.
Can you explain where the name Meacham came from?
Meacham is the name of the road that Medinah was actually built on. So the guy Meacham founded the town that Medinah is in, even though the town is Medinah, Illinois. That's who it's from. I don't remember his full name or the real history with him, but there was a really cool story behind it.
What's the best way to get started with a garden if you don't have a ton of space?
We don't have a ton of space. Our first garden was 700 square feet. We literally found a plot off to the side. Make friends with your super. That's what a lot of clubs do. We run ours, but a lot of clubs make friends with their super, and he takes good care of them and makes sure that they have plenty of space.
Do you process the maple syrup before member consumption?
Yes. Yes, we boil it down. We take it 219 degrees. It gets filtered probably about 9 times throughout the process. That's a big part of the HACCP plan is what we're working on with that in order to make sure that we are just being responsible for them.
Do you need special permission or permits to sell house-made products to membership?
I think that everyone needs to be quiet about that. No, so we're actually in discussions with our insurance company about it because we do to a point, we can use them on property, but for the sake of retail, we're getting into that now, and that's what we're starting to look at of the possibilities of it and what it takes and getting a retail license, et cetera.
Do you keep a separate professional and personal Facebook, Instagram, or is it the same account?
No, same account. I went back and deleted all the stuff that you don't want them to see on there. Because they don't want to see a picture of me holding a cow's heart. They could care less. But they do want to see a picture of something fun, or even my wife and I at a wedding. They love that. 360 likes on a picture like that. They really enjoy it. So I'm going to do this. Give me 1 second on the questions.
Sure.
So this is our charred carrot dish. And the charred carrot dish is a huge seller, and it's literally carrots. And this is one of the first dishes we put on when we started making our changes. So we use local carrots. We simmer them in a seasoned olive oil. And by seasoned, we put garlic and onion in there, not salt. And we let that go first. And then we add the carrots in, and they simmer for a good 20, 25 minutes. Chill them down. And then normally it goes under the broiler, but we blister them ahead of time and leave them at room temperature. And they get this really, really silky, amazing texture, but a great char on the outside. I'll let those go for a second. So we sell this in our restaurant as one of our appetizers, and as a shareable, it goes really far. It's a vegetarian dish, can be made vegan if we don't put the goat cheese on the bottom. But they love it. They perceive it as healthy, even though I cook these things in olive oil for half an hour. But olive oil is good for you. So we take whipped goat cheese. We put it at the bottom of the plate. This is the base and kind of the glue to hold everything together. Do you have another question?
Yes, I think you showed some examples of this, but have you been able to change any tried and true club recipes to give the member a healthier natural product without changing the final product?
Yeah, that's what our entire program did. So no matter what it was, we changed, we went to Boar's Head for all of our meats right now, but we're actually in the process of working with our local guys for all of our deli meats. And working with the local guys, it's a lot less expensive than you think. It doesn't raise the price a lot at all. What gets expensive is when you buy the organic and local through a vendor. But when you're buying direct, 90% of the time the farmers are cheaper on the product, and you can negotiate prices. So I beat them up quite a bit.
A couple of questions about prices and food costs. Did you have to raise prices for your items when you started your program, and if so, did you get pushback?
Nope, we did not have to raise prices. We raised them at the standard market increases. We actually decreased prices on certain things. We increased portions on certain things when I started. And now we're still about 10% under market pricing, but it's very fair and very competitive.
And how has sourcing locally affected your food cost?
It's actually dropped it quite a bit, especially the fact that my meat guy will call me and say, hey, I got a pig, can you use it? I'm like, no, I don't need a pig. And then all of a sudden he's giving me this whole local pig for $1.10 a pound because I'm helping him out. I bought a couple thousand pounds of 70-day dry-aged New York strip steaks at $11.95 a pound, and they were incredible. So there's a lot of wins with that when you build those relationships that really, really help us advance our program. So the charred carrots are going in the bowl. I have beets in there, pistachios, quinoa, just gotta have quinoa, torn mint, and then this is a salad we serve room temperature. So like I said, we char the carrots ahead of time. A good olive oil, sherry vinegar, a little salt, and the carrots can just be cut right through with a fork, so it makes it a great shareable dish. And we keep them big and rustic. It's more beautiful when we have the multicolored carrots on it. Take the dish, finish it with saba. Garnish with just a little bit of mash or celery leaves or more mint, just to give a little fresher of a look. And that's it. So, big seller. I could sell that for $8, no problem, for a carrot and a half. And the perception is there, the culture's behind it, so there's a lot of great support with it. Sorry, 1 second. Forgot my second pan. Sorry about that. So the other one we do a lot of fish dishes now. And the fish has become very popular. You know, the members are all about healthy now, and they're on this initiative. So if I have a fish dish, they're like, hell yeah, let's do it. So we got to make it where it fits their needs. We keep it healthy, but it's also got to be good. So we introduced salsify into the club last year, and they had never heard of it, never had it before. So we started doing purees with it, and they went crazy. And we paired it with a truffle dinner, so their immediate perception is, oh, expensive and elegant.
You take some more questions, Chef?
What's that? Yeah, we can take questions.
What do you do in the winter on your menus when the garden isn't plentiful?
We pickle and can. We don't pickle and can a lot. No, we preserve. We do a lot of things like that. We work with some of the farmers who have their houses going. So this time of year is actually the hardest because we're just on the tail end where they have run out of everything. But we switch a lot to root vegetables that they do. I bought apples in October, and because they were fresh and because they were from the farm, they actually lasted until mid-December. Incredible, just in the cooler. I've never experienced anything like that. So we have a lot of opportunities to continue to do what we want to do and to continue to grow it. But we just minimize our amount of farm-to-table items, if you would.
When you don't have a garden and a farm, how do you advertise local, house-made, house-cured, organic, house-pickled, etc. on a monthly menu without making it a novel?
Well, you have to build a relationship with a local farmer. I mean, let's face it, we're in the food business, but what we do is so much more. It's so much relationship-based, whether it's with our members, our employees, but our other level of relationships that we get into is the vendors. And if you can have a relationship with someone that's actually out there picking this stuff and washing it and getting it to you, you can advertise and talk about it all day.
How do you handle accounting with farmers? They want to be paid COD a lot of times, which I find difficult.
You are a club. You have volume, and that gives you muscle. So my farmers originally wanted COD, which, let's face it, a lot of companies like Coca-Cola and things want to get paid COD too sometimes. So there's options to be able to do it, but I set some of my farmers up on 15-day terms, and they were completely good with it.
What's the best way to start finding local farmers?
Go to a local farmers market. Start talking to the people. The guys that are at those stands, a lot of them have a lot more than just the farmers market. And you'll see the more you get in their faces and talk to them, the more opportunities.
What was your hardest challenge pitching your concept to your directors, and how did you overcome it?
I didn't pitch it. We started going with it, and I started introducing things, and I didn't start pitching things about it until it was time to need money for it. So me changing a vendor to be a local farmer, like with the steaks, for example, I did a blind tasting, and I told them about it afterwards. I said, try this one, try this, let me know what you think, and it immediately became, wow, that one's better. I said, yeah, it happens to be healthy too, which is just crazy.
Someone asked for some details on the finishing sauce on the carrot dish.
I'm sorry?
What was the sauce, the finishing sauce on the carrot dish?
Oh, Saba. Saba is a reduction made from the grape skins and everything after they make wine.
And can you reuse the olive oil from the carrots?
We do. We use it 3 times.
That's all we have right now.
Sorry, go ahead.
That's all we have right now.
Okay. No, I'm not single, sorry. I know that was coming. So here we have the salsify puree. I'm deep frying a little bit of kale, so they're getting their vegetables, even though they're deep fried and crispy. But another great thing I do ahead of time, we keep it just warm, and it's ready to roll. So this plate up is really fast. Once I can get this to fry. I'm like down to the gun. I feel like yesterday. So does anyone here actually work with farms right now, like local farms? That's great. That's awesome. It's just such a difference. Like I said, and the stories are what really, really changed the culture. It was a different approach. And when the members, for us, were going to all these restaurants downtown and being like, oh, well, Blackbird buys from this farm. I'm like, well, so do I. I'm like, oh. And it really, they got excited about it. It's taking a little longer than I thought. How many people have gardens? Nice. How about hens? Sissies.
Another question, Chef. Do you value quality over local?
100%. 100%. I pay, so yeah, it's all about quality. That's everything. It doesn't have to be local, but we found by us in our region that local is, the quality with the local products are significantly better or different. The flavors are different, the flavors are better. We have a lot more control, which is great. There's a little more labor involved in times, but we're saving it in food costs, so it balances out. Hallelujah.
Who takes care of the hens and where are they on the property?
So this is what's really cool. So right when you come into the property, you turn right, just past the guardhouse, and there is the garden. The hens are in the middle of it, and then the beehives are going to the left of it. And the members actually have their morning coffee over there. They'll stop by. We set up a little table in an area for them to be. We just made it very welcoming and inviting. What's even cooler is they bring their kids down, and they're allowed to take things out of the garden, out of a little area, and feed the hens right out of there. So certain leaves from plants, certain flowers, everything in there is 100% edible. So the woman who runs it, her name is Heather. She is the chief engineer's wife. And when we started working on the program, we said we wanted to do it, and she said, oh, I have chickens at home. We're like, sweet, now you have chickens here too. She started to head it up and started taking care of the garden as well. So she does the day-to-day legwork, which is incredible. So salsify puree, the seared fish, our crispy fried kale. Very simple. We've tended to gotten away from a lot of starches on our dishes and gone much more vegetable-centric, which just really opens up the members to different experiences and what they like, and kind of changes their train of thought. We also don't do a lot of heavy sauces. We kind of let everything speak for itself. But guys, thank you so much. This was such an honor to do this. It was a pleasure. I appreciate it.